Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Thomas Egan with the MCPHS Boston Admission Office, and we really appreciate you joining us for the Spotlight on the MRI program. Today, I have with me two panelists, one student and one current faculty member, but I'm going to turn it over to them to let them tell you a little bit more about themselves. So first, Owen.
Hi, my name is Owen. I'm in my final year of the MRI program, and I am from Arlington, Massachusetts.
Hi, my name is Lori Nugent, and I'm one of the faculty members and program director of the MRI program here at MCPHS University.
Great. Thank you both. Thank you both, Owen and Lori. So we're going to jump right into some questions first, starting with Lori. So Lori, please describe the strengths of the program that make it the best choice for students interested in MRI.
Sure. Well, I think the most significant strength of the MRI program here at MCPHS is the MRI faculty. The MRI faculty are experienced in the field and they're passionate about sharing this knowledge. And they recognize that through education, we're able to promote our profession. So I would say the faculty that are dedicated to teaching and developing the skills that are required in this discipline make this a good choice for students. One of the benefits of this program is that the faculty recognize that students are the future of the MRI profession. Also, the MRI program itself at MCPHS was one of the very first primary pathway programs in the United States. And the MRI Bachelor of Science Accelerated program makes it possible for students to earn a Bachelor of Science degree in 32 months. And our principal program strength, I think, is our clinical opportunities that we offer students for the MRI clinical education. In the professional phase of the program, MRI students will spend one semester to prepare for this clinical experience. And then once students have the skills to be successful, students will attend MRI clinical rotations, where they'll work hands-on with the most advanced technology in MRI systems with highly experienced clinical preceptors.
Excellent. Thank you, Lori. And over to you, Owen. So Owen, why did you choose the MRI program at MCPHS?
So I chose MCPHS because it was one of the only colleges that provide the bachelor's MRI program. And I've always been interested in MRI ever since I got it, since I was 8. And I've just ever been interested in the technology. And MCPHS is located in Boston, and it's near many other colleges. There's also many museums that you can look around during your breaks for students.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much, Owen. And so back to you, Lori. So what do you enjoy most about teaching at MCPHS?
Great. Well, first would be the university environment. I enjoy this because this is a health sciences university. So the faculty and the student body have a shared goal and mission. Everyone at this university wants our graduates to be prepared to advance healthcare through excellence and innovation. And MCPHS University is unique in that it has representation from many other healthcare disciplines, all with the same overarching goal of excellence in healthcare. And because the university offers programs in so many disciplines, what I enjoy is that we're able to offer collaborative learning opportunities between different programs and disciplines, which aligns with the current direction of healthcare in this pursuit to improve patient outcomes. So I would say I enjoy that we're cutting edge this way. I also like the fact that the university offers all the imaging programs that fall under the umbrella of radiology. This provides opportunities for students to experience shared learning and collaboration with students across all the medical imaging disciplines. And then I also appreciate that MCPHS is committed to supporting student success at every level of the program. So in the pre-professional phase, we have the Center of Academic Success and Enrichment, which offers mentoring and tutoring. And then we have a writing center and a math center for more specific tutoring to those needs. And then once students reach the professional phase, the focus is on developing skills such as evidence-based practice in healthcare and interprofessional healthcare collaboration. So all these skills future employees will be looking for.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lori. And I'm actually going to just keep it on you because you mentioned something that I think is very important about collaboration and interprofessional education. So could you tell me a little bit more about the interprofessional education piece that you mentioned?
Sure. So I will give you an example. Our MRI students will collaborate with the health psychology students. And we call this interprofessional education and collaboration. This is where two or more different disciplines will work together to solve a problem. And so in this example, where we have the MRI students and the health psychology students, they're learning together, they're learning about each other's profession, and then they're working to solve a problem. In this particular case, they're learning how to improve the patient experience in the MRI environment.
Thank you for clearing that up, Lori. And it's great to hear, as you mentioned, that it teaches people how to interact with all different healthcare professionals and not, as it used to be, a little more siloed, where it would just be MRI with MRI, doc, and such. So you learn how to interact with everybody in the healthcare world, which I think is very helpful. And so back to Owen for a little more on the experience side. So can you share some examples, Owen, of how the MRI program has prepared you for a career in healthcare?
Yeah, so the teachers done a wonderful job preparing us into clinical rotations. They had us do mock runs where we had to act out as a tech and giving out tech interviews where the teachers helped us and acted out as patients. And every time we go through mock runs, the teachers would go through a different personality, and we just have to accommodate how to deal with these type of patients. We also played around with coils, which is the camera to an MRI, and we also had IV labs, which helped us a lot during clinical rotations.
Great. Thank you, Owen. And Owen, I'm going to stick with you just for a quick add-on. So if you know, what are your plans or goals for graduation and after?
So after graduation, I would like to study up and prepare myself for the registration. The registration is pretty much an exam they have to take to become certified as an MR tech. And then once you pass it, you're able to start your career.
Excellent. Thank you for clarifying what that was. I think a lot of people are curious about the nitty-gritty and details as to what goes into becoming an actual MRI tech there. So thank you, Owen. Back to you, Lori. So can you provide some examples of accomplishments, appointments, and accolades for the faculty within the MRI program?
Sure. So all of the MRI faculty are active members of the International MRI Society, the Section for Magnetic Resonance Technology, or SMRT. And all the faculty have served on various boards, and many of us have presented at international conferences, and even held elected positions on various boards. And we've even had one faculty member who has been the past president in this professional society.
Terrific. Thank you, Lori. So going back to you, Owen. So you mentioned a little bit with the clinical rotation, your plans for after graduation, but can you tell me a little bit more about some of your activities outside of the classroom, maybe a little bit more about your rotation, internships, volunteer experiences, something like that?
Okay, so since MCPHS is college of some way, you are able to visit other colleges and use their gyms. So I go to Wentworth and just hang out with my friends and play basketball there. And there's also many museums nearby that you can go to, like the Museum of Fine Arts. And currently I'm attending my clinical rotations at Atrius Health in Norwood. And it is a lot faster paced than my last clinical site in Brighton. They are both outpatient settings, but this one really puts your skills to use. You must adapt quickly and require critical thinking skills. All the patients are pretty much different. Each one has their own different personalities and problems. You must accommodate for each one. And in order to do so, is just through experience and learning through watching your peers and your techs.
Great. Thank you, Owen. And I appreciate the detail about the clinical rotation because I know students are always fascinated to hear what it's like. So thank you for that. So back to you, Lori. Are there any additional opportunities or tracks within the MRI program?
So earning a Bachelor of Science degree from the MRI program will actually prepare students to be ready to advance to other opportunities within MRI or healthcare. Students may seek management positions or become application specialists, or even go on to healthcare education. So just having the foundation with a Bachelor of Science degree will prepare students for these future opportunities.
Excellent. Thank you, Lori. And your final question for Owen. So this is a pretty general one, but I know the students love to hear this. Is there any advice you can offer to prospective students who are joining us today?
So for the upcoming students for class, my advice is to get to know your classmates, ask each other questions, teach each other class materials. It helps a lot. And for clinical rotations, the number one advice would be watch and learn and ask lots of questions. That you are going to be working with many different types of people, different radiologists, different techs. Each one's going to have their own techniques. My advice is to take little pieces from each individual one and try to make them into your own.
Excellent. Thank you, Owen. Very practical, and I hope everybody takes that from this event today and sticks that. It has that stick with them. And final question for Lori. So can you share some examples of student outcomes from the MRI program?
Sure. So our most recent cohort was able to complete the required clinical competencies even during the pandemic. And from this cohort, we had a 100% pass rate with an average score of 84.2. And the board scores were above the national average, which was actually at 79.8. So our students were able to be successful, complete their clinical work, and pass their boards and do well above the national average.
That is so exciting to hear that even during a pandemic, we were able to accomplish that and come in above the national average as far as certifications go. So very exciting to hear what we can accomplish during a pandemic. Can't imagine how much we can for the years after. So thank you for that piece of information, Lori. So that wraps up our Spotlight on the MRI program. I want to thank our two panelists, Lori and Owen, for all the insightful information, but a massive thank you to all of you out there who are attending right now. I hope you found this informative. And if you do have any questions moving forward, do not hesitate to reach out to the admission office. We'd be more than happy to chat with you. So hopefully I'll see you all soon. And thank you so much for attending.